Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Danganronpa V3, Killing Harmony. In the last episode, I became really quite concerned. I became very concerned that we might have on our hands a murder that we actually cannot solve, that we are physically incapable of solving. I've since gone away. I've chilled out a little bit. My brain no longer hurts quite so much. I'm still worried. I am still deeply, deeply worried about all of this. And if he was crushed by the hydraulic press after that, then we have our cause of death.
If that's the case, it'd mean the one who killed Kaito wasn't Maki.
It would be whoever was operating the hydraulic press. Kokichi.
I see. Very impressive. The hydraulic press could have been the cause of death.
But that's the thing. It could have been. It could also have been the poison. It could have been something else that we don't even know about. This is so... My brain is currently split on two different tracks. We have track one that says, okay, let's assume that everything I am being told is true. Kaito is the victim. And, Maki shot him with the poison. And then we also have the hydraulic press. If they waited until the very last minute, if Kokichi waited until Kaito was on the very precipice of death, there is no way that we could find out what killed Kaito. There is no way that we could find out who killed Kaito. The poison or the press. Maki or Kokichi. And it's not even like we can autopsy the body. That hasn't been an option so far, but if it was, because Kaito was smushed, how would you autopsy Smush? How on earth would you autopsy Smush? There is no way of finding out what killed him if he was on the very precipice of death from poison. And then we have the other track. We have track B. That says, okay, but what if I don't assume I'm being told the truth? What proof do we actually have that Kaito is dead? We really don't have anything. Okay, so Kokichi drank the antidote, and we know that Kaito was poisoned. Maki didn't see him die. For all we know, that poison could have been a dud. It could have, for argument's sake, let's say it was out of date. Let's say it had an expiry date, and this was after it expired. And Kaito was in pain because he's dying. He's dying of separate causes. We've seen him coughing up blood. We don't know for sure that the poison killed him because Maki didn't see him die. She ran off. She pissed off. And because she didn't technically see him die, we don't really have anything that says, yeah, 100% he was in the press. We have no way of knowing who was in the press. If Maki had seen Kaito die, it would be different, but she didn't. Maybe there were two antidotes. I don't know why Kokichi would have a second antidote on him, but he might. Or maybe it was a dud. Maybe something else. I mean, there were like wrenches and shit. It was a hanger for the exisals. I would assume there would be tools. He could just have easily have, like, bashed him over the head with a wrench. Admittedly, I would assume, you know, bloody wrench. That would have been a clue. But, like... I don't feel like there's anything concrete I can grab onto. I still don't have a concrete answer for who's dead. I don't know.
But that's just a possibility.
What do you mean?
It's possible that I killed Kaito with the press, but there's no way to know. Kaito's death could have been either the poison arrow or the hydraulic press. Both causes are possible, but you'll never be able to determine it. No matter what.
No matter what? That's not true. We can probably solve this mystery too.
Himiko, you have more faith than me. Himiko, love, you have much more faith than me.
Right, Shuichi?
Is it really possible to determine Kaito's actual cause of death? Was Kaito's cause of death the poisoned arrow or the hydraulic press? Is it possible to... No! It's not! We have no actual way of finding that out.
I hate to admit it, but Kokichi is right. We have no way to prove the cause of death.
What did you say?
You can't check the body, and you don't have any conclusive evidence. You can't deduce any more from here on out. There's no way to know what happened. But I know, because I was actually involved.
That's right. Be shocked. Be shocked, Shuichi.
So that's what you were trying to do. You were trying to commit an unsolvable murder.
God, you... Tricksy bitches. Tricksy bitches. I don't... Everyone, all of them. All of them. Again, Maki didn't see... She saw stuff, but she didn't see what happened. She didn't see what happened. The poison could have been a dud. It could have been a dud. We have no definitive, like, oh yeah, I saw him die. Like, he was dead on the floor and then I left. Because that's a possibility, I can't... I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I don't know who's dead. I don't know what killed them. I don't know anything.
Do you finally get it? Yep, that was my plan.
Oh, don't you laugh. Don't you laugh. I will say, what gives me pause, this plan reeks of Kokichi. This plan absolutely reeks of Kokichi. I don't know if Kaito... Actually, you know what, I'm going to say for definite, I don't think that Kaito would be able to come up with something like this. I don't think that Kaito would be able to come up with something like this. This takes a conniving brain. This takes a scheming brain. I don't particularly like Kaito, but I don't think he's a schemer. I think Kaito is relatively honest about his intentions. He says what he thinks and then he does it. I don't like his honesty. What he says pisses me off, more often than not, but I don't think that Kaito is a schemer. I don't think that he would connive. Not like this. This does reek of Kokichi. But again, just because this is probably Kokichi's plan, that doesn't mean he is the one acting it out. Because we can't see. It's an exosol. Has anyone thought about, Maki, could you climb on top of it? There's a hole. Can we see through that? Is it glass? Is it mirrored? Can we see into it? Or does it just reflect back what's on the outside? Again, I feel like I'm being pulled in two different directions, and I don't.
The gimmick of this murder case isn't the unknown victim, but rather the unknowable culprit. No one understands but me. Only I know the answer. There's no more room for deduction here. Choose the culprit with your own intuition.
Intuition?
Are you troubled? I'm sure robots don't have intuition, right?
And leave Kipo alone! You're already being a tricksy bitch. Leave Kipo alone!
But there's nothing you can do about it. This is just how the trial goes. So, who is the culprit? Maki or me? The heart-racing excitement as the blackened and the spotless face off. It's voting time!
No! No, we can't have voting time. I don't know! Oh shit! It's too, we haven't done half the things. I don't know. I don't know. Maki didn't see Kaito die from the poison, but he might have died from the poison, or he might have died from the press. I don't know.
Hey, that's my line. I'm the one who decides when it's voting time.
Thank you, God. Oh my God. If you could see my face right now. Monokuma, thank you, Monokuma.
Oh, come on. No one's gonna figure out the truth. Let's just vote already. This won't be a problem, right, Monokuma? Because you know who the culprit is, don't you? Just like you always do.
Kokichi is a tricksy bitch. That is... It's one of his core traits. I said this before, in his own fucked up way. In his own horrifically abhorrent way. He actually did stop the killing game. It caused everyone to become really depressed, and then I think the game designers, realised, oh, this isn't going to be fun. We need to place in a flashback light so that the students won't be depressed, so that the characters in this game won't be depressed, and, that'll be entertaining for the person playing this at home. But for that, I don't think anyone would have killed anyone. I think the killing game would have ended because everyone was too depressed to carry on. That's how he said that Just like you always do. That was a challenge. That was a challenge. This is, I was saying what happens in a trial where you physically can't solve the murder? What happens? Monokuma has always been, he's always been very strict on the rules. There are rules to the killing game, and they must be obeyed. They must be fair. If you have no chance, then what's the point of even playing? What does happen when you have a murder that you can't solve? I get this reeks of Kokichi. This reeks of Kokichi, but that doesn't mean he's the one carrying it out. I want to know your plan. I want to know.
Huh?
You don't know. I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows. Again, how many Monokumas can be in play? This one was being watched. This one was being watched. An electro bomb went off. Would that affect Monokuma? Because if it would, then there couldn't just be a second Monokuma watching the hangar. And I do think there are cameras. I think that Gonta was spotting cameras. I think they're little teeny tiny drones. And if the electro bomb affects them, then the game devs don't know who did it. Who's the killer? Again, I think this is going to go in a very meta direction. I think this is all going to be revealed. Oh yeah, it was the game devs. Fuck you for wanting another killing game, players at home. Fuck you. I think this is all going to go real meta. I don't think you know either. I think you're just as blind as us.
Yes, of course.
You don't. You don't. You little fuzzy bitch.
Eh? What kind of a reaction is that?
The culprit, you say? Yes, of course I know.
Why do you seem so flustered?
Flustered? Me? What are you talking about?
What's going on with Monokuma right now?
Monokuma? Do you not know who the culprit is either?
Huh? Oh, what do you mean I don't know? What don't I know, huh?
You don't know, do you?
So what happens then? What happens then? The rules must be obeyed. You won't know if we voted correctly or incorrectly. What happens? We've reached a stalemate. We've reached an actual stalemate.
What does this mean? Why doesn't Monokuma know who the culprit is?
Monokuma doesn't know who the culprit is either? If Monokuma doesn't know, what does that tell us about this case? Wait, this case?
Yes, that's it! So that's what Kokichi's real objective was.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Kokichi wasn't just trying to commit a murder that we couldn't figure out. He was trying to commit a murder that Monokuma couldn't figure out either.
A murder Monokuma couldn't figure out?
But what's the point of that? Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma.
Again, why did you just implicitly believe the known liar? He told the truth for 5 minutes. That means he's gonna tell the truth forever. No, that's silly.
But consider how many elements of this case would be cleared up. Prior to this case, Monokuma always knew the specific details of each crime, correct? That must mean that he was using some way of monitoring us.
Perhaps there are hidden cameras, strategically placed to avoid our detection.
I think they're those little bugs that Gonta was seeing. I think they're drones. I think they're little teeny tiny drones.
I can't say for certain, but he must be keeping watch somehow. Kokichi probably used the electro bomb to scramble whatever that was. The electro bomb would prevent any cameras from sending video wirelessly.
Okay. Okay, so cameras would be like the safety function. Okay.
Which means it wouldn't matter where the surveillance cameras were hidden.
Like I said, what's the point? Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma!
Himiko, I love you, darling. But please engage your brain. Please engage your brain. Why are you trusting the known liar?
Before we determine that for sure, I want to make one thing clear. If the objective were to create a crime that would stump Monokuma, the Exosols... Yes, the Exosols weren't protecting Monokuma. They were.
The 4 Exosols in the courtyard around Monokuma, they were attacking him, bullying him, watching him, admiring him. No, they were watching him. They were watching him. They were keeping guard.
That's it! They were watching Monokuma.
Watching him?
Yes. Remember what Monokuma said earlier in the investigation?
Oh, at the time, the Exosols were on autopilot and directed to only observe me.
If they were protecting him like bodyguards, they wouldn't have been facing him. They would have been scanning the area, watching us. But they weren't. That implies that they weren't watching us. They were watching him. They were trying to make sure that Monokuma wouldn't go near the crime scene.
That reminds me. Before I stole an Exosol, all 4 units were focused on Monokuma. That's why when I stole one to enter the hangar, the other 3 didn't pursue me.
So Monokuma must have been talking about Maki.
Even if it puts someone at a disadvantage, the class trial must always be fair. The person who shared that info with me didn't seem interested in sharing it with you guys. So you share it instead. That way, it'll be fair to all the participants.
She didn't want to share that information because it would have linked her to the murder. In which case, it could only be Maki.
You're right.
So to summarize this discussion, Kokichi used the electro bomb in the hangar and the Exosols to watch Monokuma, thereby creating a scenario in which Monokuma has no idea who the culprit is?
I told you there's no point! Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma!
Again, Himiko love, engage your brain.
No, Kokichi might not be controlling Monokuma at all.
What?
But Kokichi's the mastermind, right? Shouldn't he be controlling Monokuma?
Who says he's the mastermind? The known liar? His word means nothing.
Kokichi might not be the mastermind.
What?
Remember that the only reason we think that is because Kokichi told us.
And Kokichi is a known liar.
Monokuma hasn't said a word about that. It's possible that Kokichi is just lying to us.
No way I lied! I'm definitely controlling Monokuma. The mastermind of the killing game is totally me.
Bullshit.
The one who pitted humanity's last survivors against each other is... all me, baby.
Right. He's a remnant of despair. How'd we forget that?
But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's the mastermind.
Well, I guess. But is that really possible? Well, Monokuma?
I can't answer that without causing problems, because I gotta run this trial fair and square.
Even more reason to give us the answer. If you don't tell us the truth right now, you'll be an accomplice to Kokichi's lies. Does that sound like a fair game? Would you say this class trial is fair?
Yeah, tell us! Is Kokichi the real mastermind or not?
No need to think about it. You're being way too forward, you know?
Aren't you normally the forward one?
Huh?
I mean, I don't mind, because that's probably part of your strategy, too. But in the interest of fairness, I suppose it's time to tell the truth. Unlike the lies you love so much, the truth should be impartial to everyone.
And what is that truth?
I'm not being controlled by Kokichi, because he's not the mastermind.
Dadoy! The known liar lied. My goodness. Himiko's finally engaging her brain. There you go, lass. There you go.
Is that really true?
Kokichi was just messing with you. I never once said he was the mastermind.
Then it was all Kokichi's lie?
Why are you all so surprised? Again, the known liar told the truth once. Therefore, he will never lie again. That's not right. That's not it.
Yeah, that is what that would mean. With the key from the last motive, he was the first to learn the truth of the outside world. Based on his deductions, he fabricated a lie to make you all think he was the mastermind.
I see. Kokichi's own deductions.
Do you want to know? Then I'll tell you. I'm getting kind of bored with all the lying, so everything I say now will be the truth, okay? Why would you trust that? Why would you trust that implicitly?
His deductions got a lot of details right, though. Pretty impressive, honestly.
But what about the Exisol? If Kokichi wasn't the mastermind, how'd he control them so easily?
Because he got hold of the remote. Anyone could do that.
He just used Mew's remote control, right?
Oh! Mew's remote control?
So the remote that Kokichi was using was made by Mew?
Oh, you didn't know? Mew not only invented the electro bomb and the electro hammer, she also made a remote control that can hijack any electronic device.
Damn! Mew really was a good inventor. She didn't really use her talent all that much. Aside from, you know, the chapter where she unfortunately died, but like, damn!
Kokichi just slapped a receiver on each of the Exisouls and took them for a spin.
Hey, isn't it a bit unfair to tell them all that?
Fairness has nothing to do with it. I offered up that info purely out of spite.
Oh, Monokuma, you petty bitch.
Spite towards you for trying to usurp the mastermind's role and take over the game.
Well, whatever. It's way more interesting to defeat an enemy who plays dirty anyway.
What's going on? It seems like they're actually fighting.
There's no doubt about it. Kokichi isn't the mastermind.
Were we just being dragged around by Kokichi's lies the whole time?
Kinda. And you fell for it hook, line, and sinker, and I don't know why. The known liar said he was gonna be honest. Why did you trust that?
What were you trying to accomplish by pretending to be the mastermind, Kokichi? Now you're gonna be all quiet? This is so frustrating.
Then if he's not the mastermind, who is?
Why are you so certain there's even a mastermind to begin with?
What?
What do you mean?
Oh. The mastermind is such an interesting role. It allows for so much drama. There's been one person this entire time who's known more than you. That allows for such a good reveal. They might have gotten rid of the mastermind role. They might have, but from a literary position, it creates so much delicious drama. Quite frankly, it creates a satisfying ending. Because otherwise the ending is just you going up against Monokuma, which we do every single chapter. By including a mastermind. Hell, if they included a mastermind who actually wasn't a character we had met so far. If the mastermind is one of the game devs. I don't know who any of the writers or the game devs are, but if they actually had like a little sprite of the CEO of Spike Chunsoft, and they had him be like, I'm the mastermind. It allows for confrontations that you have puppeted us this entire time. Or if it is one of the students, we thought you were our friend and you've been manipulating us from behind the scenes. It allows for such delicious drama. Compared to going up against Monokuma for the 6th time. I hope there is a mastermind. Even if I'm wrong and it's not Samugi, it's another of the students, or if it's someone we haven't met yet, I hope there is a mastermind. Because I want that confrontation. I like that in a story. Either way, I am just about out of time for this episode. In the next one, I doubt Monokuma's gonna confirm or deny the presence of a mastermind, but we'll see what he has to say for himself. So until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.